Ladies and gentlemen, allow me, please, to claim your attention for a moment. It can only be a moment, or I will know I will not get a chance to make my point. Do you know how taxes work? Most people know most of the process, but if you are new to the town, chances are you're not. Taxes should be easy to understand, so we are not pale-male by them. The government takes a portion of the income of the people and uses it to pay for services and other expenses. But in reality, it's way more complicated. There's more regulations, and right now the main problem is that the government has way more taxes than income. One daily example, a reminder we have in taxes is every day we buy something. When you go to the store, you have to pay a sales tax. In Mecklenburg County, it is 7.25, but in other counties, it's 8.25. The difference is 1%. It makes a lot of difference. Another example is when you buy a car, you have to go to the DMV, register the car, bring all your documentation, show a valid driver license, and the most important part, you pay taxes, and you get your license back. But you only pay taxes for 1 year. Another major purchase we have in mind is when you buy a house. You know you have to go to an attorney, and you have to bring a lot of documentation for the house, for yourself, you have to set a mortgage. And the most important part is you have to pay taxes. You don't know if you are paying a fair amount of taxes, you don't know you have to pay them. That way you are good, safe for 1 year. What most people don't question is, are we paying a fair amount of taxes? How does that compare to other counties or to other states? I found out back in 2003 that a house about 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, about 1,600 square feet, taxes in Mecklenburg County were about $1,500. If you go to Cabarrus County, it was $1,200. And even if you go further down, like Gaston County, it was about $1,000 for the same house, about the same location of the city relative to downtown. The difference was about $500 between all these different counties. We never question those things. We assume that the government is doing the right thing for us. Why taxes are important? Because it is your money, you're the one paying for them. Most people don't see it this way, but that's the way it is. Some people think it's something that the government owes and we have no right over them. It's something they take for granted. It's like it's their own money, and I disagree with that. Another thing we know is that taxes is the main income for many local governments. They pay a lot of the social services like roads, education. In the case of Mecklenburg County, we pay for CMC, which is Cabarrus, Mecklenburg County Schools, CMS, and also we pay for CPCC, which is Central People Community College. We pay, it's a very large education system. When do we start paying attention to taxes, you would say? And this is until something major happening either to us or somebody close, like a family member or a friend. Back in 2003, I first experienced the pain of having really wrong taxes. I had a house in South Charlotte, and all of a sudden I get a letter from the tax office telling me I have to pay $400 more. And I was like, I don't have $400 more. Who in the world thinks I have money to give away? Who takes those decisions? Is there something I could do? The only thing back in the time was an appeal form in the back of the mail, which, by the way, I filled it up and I sent it to the tax office. 3 months later, I got it back and they said, oh, that's it, that's wrong. You don't qualify for that. It happened again in 2007, but this time it affected way more people. The evaluation was really wrong. Finally, people were able to organize and fight the government. They said, this is not right. They actually established a lawsuit against Mecklenburg County. And for the lot of them, most of them won the case. The county had to back out and establish better taxes. Who in the world takes those decisions? Who gets involved with taxes? I wish it could be us directly, but we are not. Usually, it is through elected public officials. They're the ones who take most of the decisions. Of course, it's not by themselves. They have a large government of people that they help them to set the studies and do all the paperwork. But finally, the people who take decisions about taxes are elected public officials. That brings me to the questions. Why do we elect somebody? Is that because they belong to the same party that we are? Is that because we heard through the campaign trail about these people? Or is that because somebody that you know what that person stands for? For whatever reason you decide to vote for somebody, it's very important that you please take a closer look. Do not take light decisions.